Every time you stretch yourself, you're either reinforcing a fear or you're building momentum. And today we're going to talk about how to shift that stretch, that discomfort into a manifestation or a magnet for more. Does that sound fun? So this topic kind of came to be. I mentioned last week that we were in the launch for Business by Design, which is my coach's program. It's an incredible community, and I am one of the coaches in that community, and we're welcoming in all these new members. And I was like, I need to remind them to celebrate the fact that you just made this big investment and this big step. And a lot of people will say, oh, but the celebration was that I did it. Like, that was the celebration. It's like, no, you need to celebrate that you did it. You just made a really big move in your business or your life. So why are you still acting like it's business as usual? Let's talk about why celebration is one of the secrets to momentum. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. I help creative business owners and artists build communities around your brand so that business is easy and profitable. When you stay in action, yes, I mean even messy action, only good things happen. We are always learning, and when we can get just as excited about the lessons as the results, magic happens. I've helped million-dollar companies with their marketing, but my mission in this world is to help you step into the best possible version of yourself so you can create your dream business too. We believe in community and people over strategies and tactics. Our theme here at the Messy Success Podcast is the 1% adventure, where we're focusing on getting 1% better every single day. I want you to color outside the lines and embrace the messy journey to take daily action towards your goals. If you've noticed a plateau in your business, we've created a very quick quiz where you can find out your next best move. Head over to elizabethhenson.co/next to find out. Now let's get started. All right, we're doing it. We're getting so close to 200 episodes of the Messy Success Podcast. This is going to be episode 193. And today we are going to be talking about how celebration is actually a momentum booster and how we can create this evidence loop of what we want to attract more of and stay in that attraction frequency. So we're going to be a little bit into the law of attraction today, and just energy in general. But this is all backed by science, and it really makes sense if you think about it. So I cannot wait. And we're doing it. Episode 193. So if you want any of the show notes, you can go to elizabethhenson.co/E193. I actually checked an item off of my bucket list over the weekend and photographed some of the No King's Day protests in my area. And that's not to take this episode in a political direction, but it has always been on my bucket list to photograph a political event, a protest of some kind. It's been on my bucket list for a while, probably since a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests and things like that. And I just kept getting this visual of, taking my camera out, getting some really cool shots, like some really powerful black and white shots. And I did exactly that. And I share that with you because I did it. It was not a convenient day. I was willing to flow through the day with no attachment to whether it happened or not. I kind of just charged my camera battery in the morning. I was touching base with a few friends that were going. My husband was sick. I was like juggling the kids, and I just kind of surrendered. And I was like, if the timing works out, it works out. And I had no attachment to it. It just was like, let's see if I can make my way over there. And I did. My friends gave me tips on where to park and all the things, and I did it. And now I'm like looking at all these pictures, and I'm like, oh, what do I do with them? Like, I didn't really have a plan for what was next. I just knew I as a photographer, former photographer, I really wanted that experience. And it was fun, and it was uncomfortable, and it was a lot of things. But what I'm doing is I'm just celebrating the fact that I did it, the fact that I had this like kind of random but big meaningful thing on my bucket list, and I made it happen. And that in itself is worth a celebration. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Whether you just made a big investment in your business, whether you're thinking about making one, whether you're looking for a space. I'm getting ready to sign on the dotted lines for a co-working space. That's, if you've been following along, our journey to 200 episodes, that's kind of part one. That's not necessarily going to lead to the podcast studio, but it might. It's part one. And it is going to be a really good option if I decide to renovate my studio here at the house to also have the opportunity to go co-work at Gather and have my monthly meetups and so forth. So my decision's like 95% made. And that'll be another thing that we'll be celebrating. So let's talk a little bit about this, the energy of expansion. You guys know I love that word, expansion. So when we think about something that stretches us energetically, so it's an investment, maybe a big launch, maybe you're taking the leap to hire somebody, maybe you're raising your prices. That stretch, that discomfort is the signal that you're ready for more, right? And if we continue to play it safe, we will be in the same frequency. Okay? Playing it safe keeps you in the same frequency. Growth happens when we stretch energetically. Okay? We understand that, right? So we want to anchor this vibration of stretching by celebrating. So you're anchoring that stretch, that high, with another high or a joy or a happiness. Dinner with a friend, maybe a walk in nature, a champagne moment, something that you really love, because this is the key. Your nervous system, your wiring is learning to associate this stretchiness, this expansion, with joy rather than fear. Let me repeat that. Your nervous system, your body is learning to associate this growth discomfort feeling with positive emotions. Like, how often have you made a big investment and you beat yourself up? Oh, I really don't know if I should have done that. Oh, I have this gym membership and I'm not going. Guilt, shame. So now you're ringing the bell to your nervous system that investment was bad or negative, and you're lowering the frequency. Does that make sense? And that momentum is what creates that magnetic energy. So manifestation, attracting what we want, isn't always instant. It's a momentum. It's movement. It's energy, right? It isn't just one thing or one moment. I'm going to manifest a car, I'm going to go get it, and then it's done. No, it's energy, that attracts that opportunity into your life. So that empowered action, that stretchiness, leads to the next one, the next idea, the next opportunity. Growth attracts growth. So it's like, if you look at this as, a spinning wheel, like a tumbleweed, and it's just gaining momentum as it goes, right? You're keeping your energy moving in this forward and positive direction with even small daily wins. This is why gratitude is a law. It's a real thing, right? Because gratitude attracts more things to be grateful for. And manifestation energy is the same thing. So we want to celebrate even small daily wins. Okay. Now here's the next piece, which is my favorite and probably one of the most important, is we want to continue to detach from outcomes. We are laser focused and present on our intention while detaching from the outcome. It's like, my favorite way to say it is care about everything and nothing at the same time, right? Care about everything that you're doing, but don't care or attach to the outcome. There's a surrender, there's a trust, okay? So that action, that momentum, when we're in this stretchy, now we're in a tumbleweed state with that clear intention, is going to send a really strong signal, and the universe will respond and match that clarity and confidence. It does not match desperation or doubt. In fact, that's just going to lead to more desperation and more doubt, which lowers the vibrational collective frequency. So if you really want to get the hang of this, you almost start celebrating before the actual result. And I've talked about this before because I've kind of been witness to this in my own life. That true manifestation energy of like, you are celebrating before it's even happened. My annual in-person event is a good example because like, I already know it's happening. I put down the down payment, for the space, each person that registers. I already know it's happening, and I'm already celebrating how amazing it's going to be before it even happens. Can you think about a time in your life? Maybe you were just planning a vacation, but you lived into that excitement before you got there, right? You didn't have to wonder whether you were going to have a good time. You just knew. And attracting in our business is the same way, right? If we can lead our business and our decisions knowing it's going to be a good time, regardless, it's a vacation. It is a vacation from the normal way of living, right? But if we can live into that excitement before, during, and after, imagine how big that tumbleweed of stretchy, attracting energy will get. It's kind of a funny example, but it's what's coming up for me, right? And like I mentioned in the beginning, this is an evidence loop. That circular momentum is creating evidence. And neuroscience tells us that your brain will look for proof of what you believe. That red car analogy that I use so often, right? Your brain is going to look for proof. If you know you're going to get $500 every time you see a red car, your brain is going to 10 out of 10 look for the proof and look for red cars on every single corner. So why not create that same type of evidence loop for good growth opportunities, stretchy expansion, celebrating that we're not staying the same, celebrating that we're constantly stepping into the bigger tumbleweed, the better version of ourselves. So every time you back yourself and you celebrate and it works and it creates joy and it creates happiness, you're building that trust and you're shifting your identity. Imagine every time you made a big business investment or an investment in your health, an investment in your well-being, that instead of being fearful, you celebrated. And that doesn't mean you have to go spend another $1,000. You could just have a friend over to have a celebratory drink, or give yourself permission to read that book or to take a walk, whatever feels like celebrating to you. I know for me, sometimes the celebration can be as simple as like, I'm getting in my bed at 7 p.m. instead of 9, and I'm reading my book, drinking some tea with like my meditation music. I mean, that is like one of my ultimate happy places. But I can view that as a celebration, right? Because I'm intentionally saying, man, I had a really expansive day at work today. Let's celebrate by doing one of my favorite things, right? No matter how small, we want to celebrate that evidence. We're reinforcing that momentum. You think about the tumbleweed that picks things up as it goes. You're either picking up positive evidence or you're going to continue to pick up negative evidence. We get to choose. Or you're not going to pick up anything at all if you don't make the decision. Indecision is just as bad as negative energy, right? We have to make the action and the decisions. Successful people have one thing in common. They make quick decisions. They stay in that action creates more action type of energy. And I saw so much evidence of this last week because I was really busy, you guys. I thought I had marked off I had marked off the week for my own business so that I could be fully present with the Business by Design launch. And I was like, cool, I didn't really schedule any meetings this week. It's not going to be very busy in my business. Well, I tell you what, if things didn't pop off last week with like 3 or 4 new referrals and opportunities and things coming through my inbox, I was like, what is going on? This week was supposed to be quiet and we're popping off. And I was just busy, but I was also like really productive. Like it'd be like, okay, I have 20 minutes. I'm going to build this page and I'm going to send these prices and I'm going to do this. And I was like, wow, what a testament to, I'm not choosing to use the word busy here, but like busy attracts more busy, right? And I'm saying it in a positive context here, but sometimes busy is not always a positive feeling. But for me, it was like action. Action's creating more action. Productivity is creating more productivity. And I had such a productive week. Now, it was probably like right at the top of my threshold of like how busy I wanted to be. But it was a good moment for me because my business is very spacious, meaning I only have, between 1 and 3 meetings in a day. I can go out and walk my dog. I can do the laundry. I make myself my breakfast or my lunch. Like my days are very spacious. And that's intentional. But to have a few days where I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even gotten up to use the bathroom or get something to eat. That's how, in the weeds of it all I was. As much as I don't want that every single week, it was a really cool reminder of what I'm capable of and how that action was just creating more action. It was a really cool lesson. So that was worth celebrating. The fact that I didn't just survive a crazy week, but that I thrived and that I walked away from it saying, you know what? I know my schedule's cushy, but I can probably push myself a little bit more, right? And stay in a little bit more action and do either or. We want the choice. So we're just celebrating evidence. We're reinforcing the momentum. And you're embodying this version of you who already has the goal. How would she celebrate it? What would the highest, coolest, most successful CEO version of you do after this stretchy action? And embodying that now, embodying her now, speeds up the timeline, speeds up the amount of time that it takes to get from here to there. So I'll leave you with the challenge of just looking for evidence of this in your life. This is what most people miss about energy and about manifestation, that it's not just in the action, it's how you feel after, and rewiring your brain to associate that feeling, even if it's like the feeling of imposter syndrome. Associate that feeling with joy, happiness, success, celebration. You're training your brain to be in that place of stretchy discomfort because it leads to good things. So imagine now what becomes possible when you do that on a regular basis. Crazy, right? So think, if making a big investment is the end of the stretch, you've got it all wrong. The real flex is how you anchor that move with energy, and you tell the universe, I'm ready for more. I'm attracting more. My action creates momentum. And I celebrate that with a joyful, happy feeling, which will then anchor your nervous system and your brain response. So cool, right? Okay. Let me know if you can look back at your own life lately and reflect on where you saw evidence of this working or not working in your favor. And remember to leave us a review on iTunes if you love this episode, or wherever. I don't really see them on any of the other platforms, but I'm sure they're there. And share it with a friend if this was helpful. That would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being here and for pushing play today. And we're just getting that much closer to our 200th episode celebration.